Tonight at 5, new information in the trial of Tim Durham. Good evening, everyone. I'm Jenna Coy. Erica is off tonight. And I'm Todd Connor. A jury has now been chosen. The men and women will determine whether Durham is guilty in the largest financial fraud case in Indiana history. RTV6 reporter Rafael Sanchez has followed this case from the beginning. He joins us live with more on what happened today in court. Rafael.
Todd, good afternoon. About 90 minutes ago, the jury was officially sworn in. They'll return to work on Monday for the beginning of the trial. Many were excused because many came to court believing that Timothy Durham was guilty and said so they were excused. But federal prosecutors say come Monday, they'll be ready to get this trial started. Anything for Tim on his behalf? Anything on your dad's behalf, sir?
No comment.
That's fair enough. Timothy Durham's son and other family members said nothing as they returned to the federal courthouse to watch the jury selection process. Defense attorneys say 300 registered voters were called to jury duty. Only 16 would get to judge one of the largest fraud cases in the state.
This case is big in every way imaginable. A large number of people involved, a huge number of documents involved, a large dollar amount involved.
Any comments, sir?
No, I don't.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. The trial will focus on the men who once led the now bankrupt Ohio-based Fair Finance. Federal prosecutors say Timothy Durham, James Cochran, and Rick Snow misled people to line their pockets with millions of dollars 5,200 people thought were safely invested. The government says the Fair Finance fraud totals more than $200 million. Defense attorneys say this is not a case of a Ponzi scheme, but about three men trying to save their company in the midst of the nation's financial industry meltdown. Cynthia Massey of Ohio lost money with Fair Finance and now wants to see justice from the Indianapolis courthouse.
It's good to see that justice is happening. Justice isn't always in money. Justice is the reward for somebody's actions, and if they did things that was not legal.
A lot of the victims all live in Ohio. We're monitoring this case, of course, through our stories online. In the end, 16 jurors will be seated come Monday morning. Of the 16, 12 will actually deliberate on a verdict. The other 4 are alternates, but the judge will not identify the 4 alternates because she wants all 16 to focus on the case, Todd, in case any of them drop out.
Yeah, big case, no mess-ups. You don't want any for sure. Rafael, what's this we hear about some of the potential jurors were confused about who Tim Durham was?
That was the interesting thing. Beyond the fact that folks would come in and actually express that they thought he was guilty right from the get-go, some of them believed that he was Marcus Schrenker, the gentleman who had attempted to fake his own death in a plane crash a couple of years ago by trying to avoid police and securities regulators. Of course, this has nothing to do with the Schrenker case, and Mr. Schrenker is serving time at a separate fraud case. The judge had to remind jurors where they were and what the case was all about. Opening statements begin here, 8:30 Monday morning.
All right, the beginning of a very important trial for a lot of people. Rafael Sanchez, live downtown. Thanks, Rafael.